Hello, it's Uncommon Fossil, and today, beginning a series on the 8 new starter decks in Pokemon TCG Live, right? With coming of rotation, that means the E-Blocks no longer playable, and all of the previous 8 starter decks that we got in 2023 are no longer playable. So we have 8 new decks, and we're going to take a look at those. And beginning with Giratina VSTAR. The reason for this is because this list is essentially just an update of a previous last year's Lost Tina starter deck. So I got to say, I'm a little bit disappointed that they're essentially giving us in this deck just because it's an update, right? We're not getting a lot of new cards. But look, the good thing about it is, and why it's important for new players, it gives us the Lost Zone engine, and want to give everybody immediate access to that. It's very good. It's a super strong engine. Perhaps this is the best build of it. It's probably the strong deck. It's a pretty playable. It's not a crazy complicated deck. There is like the Paradox box style Lost Zone deck, which I would have preferred to see. It would have given some more new cards to people, but that's a harder deck to play. So probably this is the best choice, so I get it, but I am a little disappointed just because it's not a lot of new cards. So I'm going to talk about the deck, talk about how it works a little more than for some things, because as these starter decks, there'll be a decent number of new players checking these out to see how does this work. So if someone's a new player, need to spend a little more time talking about things, can't assume a base knowledge for things. And I'm going to talk about the differences from the old deck as well. This is, if we compare it to the old starter deck, this is definitely an upgraded version. So this features a 3-3 line of the Giratina VSTAR. Before it was just a 2-2 line. 3-3 is better. So this is definitely an improvement. Giratina VSTAR smacks for big damage. It's a dragon-type Pokemon, so it has no weakness, and that is quite nice. And then Lost Impact for grass, psychic, colorless, all dragon-type Pokemon. There is no dragon-type energy, so they use a mix of other energies. Generally, they use 2 types of energies, I think is how maybe they all work, if not most of them, if not all of them, right? They take 2 types, dragon and grass and psychic. For this one, Lost Impact does 280 damage. That's a nice number. It one-shots the V-Stars, Stage 1 EXs. It doesn't one-shot the Stage 2 EXs now, so that's something to keep in mind. But 280, a nice number there. You have to put 2 energies attached to your Pokemon, not necessarily this Pokemon, but in play, any amongst your Pokemon in play, into the Lost Zone. So keep that in mind. Energy management is very important with a deck like this. And the different types to make sure you have what you need. It also has a V-Star Power, which is very good. Star Requiem for Grass Psychic. You have to have 10 cards in the Lost Zone to use it, so it takes a few turns to get there, but you're going to get there because getting cards in the Lost Zone is what this deck is about. Then it knocks out your opponent's Pokemon. Super, super nice. Just the same thing as Roaring Moon EX. And that's very good, obviously. So you can one-shot like a Charizard EX. Very nice there for sure. The Giratina V is also useful in the deck. 2 things: Abyss Seeking. If you go second for 1 energy, you look at the top 4 cards in your deck, put 2 into hand, discard, or you put the other 2 in the Lost Zone. We need cards in the Lost Zone, so that helps with that. Helps draw into our cards in our hand as well. So that can be a very nice option going second on our first turn, going second. And then the Shred Attack for the same energy, same cost as the regular attack on the V-Star. Grass, Psychic, Colorless does 160, not as much, but it does hit through effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So if they send up a Mimikyu, that's one way to deal with it. So very nice there. There's 2 other attackers. I'll hit those next. Cramorant. This is a nice early game attacker. Gives a poke during the course of the game, or might knock out something too. Spit Innocently does 110 damage, and you want to attack for its Water Colorless, which this deck does not play Water Energy. Although we might want to revise that. I'll talk about that for an upgrading option at some point. But really, you're not attaching any energy to it because it has Lost Provisions ability. If you have 4 or more cards in the Lost Zone, ignore all energy in this Pokemon's attack cost. So very nice there. This deck does not play any of the Technical Machine tools, but you could attack with any of those for no energy, as long as you have 4 energies in the lost zone as well. So that is very important there. And then another attacker that's important when to use it. You can't use it early, but Lost Mine for 1 psychic energy. You have to have 10 cards in the lost zone. That's why it takes a few turns before you can do it. But then you put 12 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like. There is a Jirachi out now that stops that, so just keep that in mind. If they have Jirachi, then you can't put damage counters on their bench Pokemon, but spreading around the damage can finish things off or take out some of those those basic Pokemon that the EXs evolve from, right? So very nice option. And of course, it only gives up a single prize when it's knocked out, so very good there. 1 copy of Manaphy just to protect the bench with the wave availability, right? Your opponent can't do damage to your benched Pokemon. Doesn't stop something like Sableye from placing damage counters, though, so just keep that in mind. And then 4 copies of Comfey. This is one of the key pieces to the Lost Zone engine. We don't really attack with it, but flower selecting once during your turn. If it's in the active spot, you look at the top 2 cards in your deck, put 1 into hand, the other in the Lost Zone. So even if you go first, you want to ideally get at least 2 Comfeys off. And we have a number of switching cards in the deck because Comfey switch into another Comfey or 2, get some cards in the Lost Zone, and build up a nice hand size. Very nice in this deck. I'll jump right to the energy. The one Pokemon you might want to add is Radiant Greninja. The upgrade, it has a nice ability. You discard an energy, draw 2 cards, and it can hit the bench 92 Pokemon for 3 energy. So that I would put that in, and then you need to put in a couple water energy, which the deck doesn't play. If you do that, at least I would think so. You want to be able to attack with that as well as the drawing. We play 4 grass and 6 psychic. The Giratina needs 1 grass, 1 psychic. Mirage Gate needs a mix of energies, so we'll get to that trainer shortly. And Sableye needs psychic only, so hence more psychic than grass. And then 4 jet energies. This is a new card in the deck. Really good. You attach it to any Pokemon provides what colors energy. If you attach it to a bench Pokemon, it swings into the active spot. So a Comfey, ideally you have Comfey active, use that. Jet energy, send up that Comfey from the bench, and then you can retreat using, with this jet energy, gives a retreat cost to a 3rd Pokemon to the active. Very nice there. The deck used to play 1 basic water, it dropped that. The Pokemon that were dropped to play 1 copy of Snorlax from Lost Origin. That wasn't an ideal attacker, I'll say. Then it played a copy of Lumineon V, mainly to search your deck for a supporter. But you could attack with that water energy. But again, I think the deck's better without it. So the changes they have made, they really did improve the deck. Look, losses to the deck and the trainers, just hit these quickly. It used to play 4 Escape Rope in the old starter deck. That's rotated. Had 3 Ultra Ball. That's not rotated, but we have a new card that's kind of replaced that. We don't have that. Gave us search to the V-Stars. We don't have any way to search out the V-Stars now. So, but you're going through a lot of cards with your Comfeys and your Colress experiment. So hopefully you don't need Ultra Ball. If you do, well, good luck to you, I guess, right? But I get the choice there. They played 4 cross switchers. That's rotated, so that's been cut. And they played 1 copy of Gardenia's Vigor. That was a very sketchy supporter that generally didn't work, so they dropped that, which was a good move. Okay, so let's getting into the list. There's 4 Switch in the deck, and I think that was in the deck before, right? We need to switch a lot with our Comfeys, so 4 Switch in the deck. 4 Switch Cart. This is new to the list. It used to play the 4 rope. That rotated Switch Cart just works on basics, but they're mostly basics except for your V-Star. That it heals 30 damage when you retreat back to the bench, so that healing is quite nice there. 3 Buddy-Buddy Poffin. This is a new card, so it wasn't in the deck before. This kind of replaces the 3 Ultra Ball. It's a little different. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less. Put them onto your bench, so it gets the Comfeys down and gets Manaphy. So it's good. I mean, you get your Comfeys down very easily, and it's not really limited to turn 1 like Battle VIP Pass was. but it doesn't get any bigger Pokemon. So although we do play 4 Nest Ball, I'll jump ahead to that, right? That gets down to any basic Pokemon, which the deck used to play. That makes super lot of sense there. 2 Super Rod, a new include in the deck, really important. You shuffle in a combination of 3 Pokemon and or Basic Energy from the discard pile into your deck. We're discarding energies at times. We need to get those back, as well as some of our Pokemon. So Super Rod, a very good card to have in the deck. 2 Roxanne, that's a new add to the deck, and the deck definitely likes it. Lost Zone is a deck that sometimes can fall behind. Roxanne's really good if you fall behind. You can only play it when your opponent has 3 prize cards or fewer remaining. It doesn't matter how many prize cards you have. You could actually be ahead in prize cards, but as long as your opponent has 3 prize cards or less remaining, use it. Each player shuffles their hand to their deck, and then you draw 6, your opponent draws 2, so a really good hand disruption later in the game there. Like that a lot. 4 Mirage Gate, really good Lost Zone card. You can only use this if you have 7 more cards in the Lost Zone, so it's hopefully second turn 2. That's kind of the target number. And then what you do is you search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards of different types. We play Psychic and Grass, and you attach them to your Pokemon any way you like. They can both be the same Pokemon. 2 separate Pokemon can go active, can go bench. Really good there. It's an item card, so if you have more than one in hand, you can utilize it. Obviously, you want to make sure you have the energy in deck before using it, so just try to keep track of that. And if you have Super Rod in hand, you might want a Super Rod before Mirage Gate just to make sure you have those energies. Missing energy on Mirage Gate will happen sometimes, the way the deck goes with discarding and Lost Zoning, but you gotta, just watch out for that. It's 4 Nest Ball, I already mentioned that. 4 Colress Experiment. This is kind of this along with Comfey is the heart of the Lost Zone engine. Look at the top 5 cards in your deck. Put 3 of them into your hand, and then the others, which would be 2, go into the Lost Zone. So just make those choices carefully. This is where Lost Zones, it's not the easiest deck for a new player. So just making the right choices to Lost Zones is very important. And especially, you need to know what cards you need early game, but you also need to know what cards you're going to need late game. And if you Lost Zone a card that you're going to need later in the game, you can't recover from the Lost Zone. You can put yourself into a tough spot. One of the basic pieces of advice is be careful with your energies. Don't Lost Zone too many energies. You will find yourself in a big problem, generally, if you do that. 2 Bosses Orders. I think that was in the deck already. They had 1. They upped it to 2. A very good card for sure. The deck doesn't. Another card that you could put into the deck to make it better is Counter Catcher. Doesn't play that in the deck. I think that I'd like that in the list as well to make it a little better. And then 2 Beach Court, which was is that new? No, that was in the deck already as well. And it gives your basic Pokemon a retreat cost of 1 less, and something like the Comfey, which is a retreat cost of 1, then retreats for free. So it just helps making the swinging in and out of the Comfeys a little bit better. The other card that was dropped was Thornton, and that was a little clunky in the deck, so I think that's good that they dropped it. So all in all, Pokemon really strengthened the deck, and I am glad it's a starter deck. I kind of disappointed just in that we already had this deck, that it's I would have preferred the Lost Zone with maybe a different attacker, but this is a very good deck and certainly not a bad deck to start off with, because this is a deck you can definitely do some wins and move up the ladder. Let's take a look and look at the deck in action. All right, first game here with Temporal Forces, first game since rotation. Would like to go first to help set things up. Lost the coin toss. I normally change the deck box and sleeve and coin. I don't do that for these starter decks. I find that this coin is always confusing to me, whether it's heads or tails. The game tells me, so it doesn't really matter. But because it's basically, all right, well, starter Comfey is obvious, and don't bench anything else. And I didn't pay attention to my first or second. I'll find out in a second. Going second. Okay, so I'll have the option, it looks like, to Cramorant or to Giratina. So they both have potential value. I don't know that I'll... okay, so they play Prime Catcher, which is very good. Very, very good. Okay, they didn't get anything else into play. I like that. So unless I get lucky here, I'm going to grab the V-Star because I like that. I mean, I like... this isn't great, I will say. So I'm going to... do I want a Pokestop? That's kind of my question. I think I'm going to say no to that. Maybe I should have used Switch Cart there instead. We'll see. Maybe I made a mistake. So I'll Abyss Seeking. Get 2 more in the Lost Zone. Oh, I want that for sure. And I have a Mirage Gate. I'll grab a Buddy-Buddy Poffin. I think the Colress is really key, right, to a good turn here. I only got 1. I have 3 in the Lost Zone. I can get 4 or 5 with Colress. I can get 6 with Comfey. I can get 2 Comfeys in play, so I might be able to get off my Giratina V-Star's attack, right? I can't boss and Colress the same turn, though, which is partly why this deck, you want to Colress a lot, which is why a card like Counter Catcher is good, an item that can do gusting, right? And my opponent has Prime Catcher. Got the concession, right? In the Baxcalibur deck, they probably, well, I mean, the Chen Pao deck, they probably couldn't get Baxcalibur into, or Frigibax, the basic, into play, so they knew they were in trouble. You know, it's not a guarantee. So, I didn't pay attention. What were my rewards there? I think I got 20. I should have paid a little more attention. Let's take a look, obviously, at the deck in another game. All right, let's see what happens here. Would like to go first this time if I get the choice. So it's red and blue on the head side. It's just blue on the tail side. You know, things are just too slow here. That's a complaint I have. So, with the game, so I will go first. Hopefully that works well for me. I need to get a couple cards in the Lost Zone, at least. All right, we're going to take a mulligan. Would have been a great hand if I had any Pokemon, right? 2 Buddy-Buddy Poffin Jet Energy would have been awesome. All right, Comfey, Buddy-Buddy Poffin, Switch Energy. All right, well, this is pretty good. See what I hit draw into, though, right, with these Comfey. So I'm going to Comfey like 3 times here. So I'm going to thin with Buddy-Buddy Poffin first. The only card you can get in this deck is Comfey. That's the downside, because I really would like to get some others into play. But thinning the deck with this, and I can actually use all 3 Comfeys with what I have now. All right, so I think all right, that's a 3/3 line. I need to get a Giratina V down, right? That's a given. So I'll do that. I'll switch. Because I might get some better options with an energy. If I get like do I want to do a Beach Court? Or do I want to do a Switch? I'll grab the Switch card, I guess. I'm not entirely certain about that. But what it'll allow me to do is it's going to allow me to attach my energy, I think, to my Giratina V, which is nice. What did I? All right, I'm willing to put Lost Zone 1 energy, I think. So I think I want to hang on to the Switch cart. That's my thought there. So I'll play down the Giratina V, and I will attach a Psychic Energy. And end turn. So a good start to the game. Got 3 cards in the Lost Zone. Have Colress, so that gets me 6. I get to 7. I have Comfey in the active, so I get 7 in the Lost Zone. So they're looking to accelerate. All right, well, unfortunately, it was still a good hand. Hopefully I get another Colress. That's not good. Roxanne's not going to be usable this turn. So that's... Beach Court, at least, is good for me. And... I mean, I can take the knockout with Comfey, so maybe I do that. I'll have to kind of see. Do I Nest Ball for Comfey? I might just do that. And I have Switch Cart, so I can do Comfey, Switch Cart to another Comfey. Okay, so Iron Crown, so they boost their damage. So it's the Future Box, which is something I'm really looking forward to trying out. There is one on the ladder. I don't know if that's what this is. So they got the knockout. Oh, because of the boosting. So that's very good. So they take the knockout. So getting the second Iron Crown down was very good for them. So I can still make some things happen though. But got Colress. I like that. Let me use this guy first. Sequencing is a... I'm going to get... I think I want another Giratina down. The Rod is good too, though. But it doesn't help me with the Lost Zone thing. So... so I'll Switch Cart here. I do have Beach Court still. I have some options. All right, well, I'll grab a Buddy-Buddy Poffin. That's pretty easy to decide there. I think I want to thin things out. Let's see what else I have for basic Pokemon. Okay. What do I have? 5. Do I want to... I'll drop down a Cramorant. It's partly to thin, right? I'm doing that to thin. I have the free retreat. I have the free attack. So I have the knockout, right? So G Energy is really good. What else do I want? Do I want a boss? I don't think I need 2 G Energies. I'll grab Colress and Boss. This is where the decisions get a little tricky. Decisions do get, a little bit. So now one issue is if I attach my Jet Energy. Oh, I can Mirage Gate this turn though, which is actually pretty good for me, right? I think I'm going to wait on that though because. I think I just want to take the knockout here. And we'll see what happens here. The problem with the Mirage Gate, if they gust up my Giratina V and knock them out, which they can do, they can one-shot one of my Vs quite easily here. It does 220. They need to get a third, and they can one-shot if they need one more Iron Crown right now to get the V-Star, but they one-shot the V. So I'm concerned if I Mirage Gate and they take out the Giratina that has the energy, right? So, but we'll see what happens. Right now, I do have the potential to hopefully did they play a supporter, by the way? So what I'd like to do is take out the Miraidon. I don't have to play boss, so that's very nice. So I'll send up the Comfey, and I actually have Jet Energy. I have Mirage Gate. This is quite nice, right? So I'm going to I'm going to Mirage Gate first. So grab 1 and 1 here. Do I have my other rod? I do. Okay, so just want to make sure of that. So Grass goes here. Psychic goes here. I'm going to Jet Energy, but not yet. Not yet. So I will Comfey. Hopefully, this is the point where I don't want to get punished by losing. I like it, the other V-Star. That's easy. It seems easy. I'm going to Colress this turn. Just dig through. 1, 2, 3. Do I drop the Jet Energy, actually? You know what? I'm going to put in a Jet Energy into hand, because that gives me the switching as well. So I have free retreat, and so I'm going to evolve. Do I want to keep digging? I'm going to keep digging. A bit of a madman here, the way I'm digging here. But I think it's okay. At this point, do I want more Colress? Actually, maybe I'm going to want Sableye. That's partly what I'm thinking here. All right, so I'm going to Jet Energy, and take the knockout. I have to get rid of 2 energies. I lost zone some energies. So, what's the... So, I mean, I could use my big attack too, but I think I want to save that, right? Yeah, I definitely want to save that. So, lost impact, knockout. Definitely get rid of the Jet Energy, inspect board, and I'll get rid of... I'm going to get rid of Psychic on the active because I have more Psychic, right, going in the deck, and I have more Psychic in hand than in grass. So grab 2 prize cards. Okay. I don't. So, you know, so the energies gets a little tricky here. I have lost zoned 5 energies so far, which that's not great, right? Not great, but we'll see what happens. I have... At some point, using the Star Requiem attack is good. Now, there's missed energy, so if my opponent attaches missed energy, Star Requiem doesn't do anything. That's not great. So they set up the Radiant Greninja has free retreat here, right? Which is partly why they don't need Switch carts, so they're going to hit into me. So that they can potentially knock me out, although they need 2 energy on them, right? What did they grab? I was poking around. All right, so Iron Hands. Okay, so Iron Hands is scary now, because now Amp You Very Much is doing... All right, what's this supporter do? Okay. Like the nerfed version of Zinnia's Resolve is how I think of it as. A good card, though. So this is good. I have Boss in hand, so this is really nice because I can... Yeah, this is good stuff. Liking this for sure. And they concede. So I was gonna knock out my Iron Hands, which is gonna put me in good shape. The question is, how was I gonna close out the game? I wasn't entirely certain about that, but okay. So let's take a look at the rewards too. So I was definitely in the better spot there. So got 20 points towards the Battle Pass, which is how it was before. The question is, do I lose 20 or not? I'm not certain about that. All right. So anyway, the deck's been working quite nicely. All right, see what happens here. I've gone first. I've gone second. I prefer to go first, but we'll see what happens. So I won the coin toss, so I will go first. Thank you very much. So I got the Dragon coin for the Dragon deck. I don't think of it as a dragon. All right, well, Cramorant. All right, well, this is a bad start to the game. A very bad start to the game. Okay, so up against Roaring Moon. I don't know if it's the new build. I haven't, you know, obviously, at this point, it's early days with these, obviously, new format, new rotation, so it's big changes. So I'm learning what these decks are. You know, the best, you know, you can study the decks and all that, but if you have time, just go ahead and play the game. All right, this is not great. All right, well, I guess it's Comfey Jet Energy, so that's become simple now. I have Colress for next turn. It's not great. It's not a great start, but we'll see what happens. See what my options are here. Buddy-Buddy Poffin. Yeah, that's actually... And I have free retreat with Buddy-Buddy Poffin to play, so I probably drop down 2. Oh, I do have Manaphy in the deck as well. I think that was prize last time, right? Because I didn't see that with Buddy-Buddy Poffin. So partly thinning the deck, so now I retreat into the next Comfey and see what I get. So not a terrible turn one. Would like to... well, that's... Okay. Not thrilled about having to discard an energy. I'll get rid of the grass energy because I have 2 in hand, right? No, I messed up. I got confused. I was thinking what I wanted to Lost Zone. That's not great. Although there is more psychic energy in the deck, so it's probably okay. It may even be the better choice. I meant to grab the psychic when I was thinking. I clicked the grass because the grass is what I want to put into the Lost Zone, but you don't select the one you want to go to the Lost Zone. You select the one you want to go in hand. So that was my brain just misfiring there, and my hand not clicking what it was supposed to at the same time. So we'll see. Not a great turn. 2 in the loss zone for me. No, didn't get a Gardenia. I mean, a Giratina V down. So we will see. The Cramorant does not one-shot the Brute Bonnet, which is not ideal. See what happens, though. They might be just passing. Okay, so that... Not a great... Okay, so... I probably want a Colress here. You know, I'm going to grab the Beach Court, partly because I have a Mirage Gate, but also I want to get rid of their stadium because they are not in good shape here, right? Let's be honest, right? So I want to get rid of that stadium. I don't want to use the stadium, but I want to bump it just because right now they're top decking 1 card. I have 3 Comfeys. That should be enough in play, right? So I'm going to grab the Sableye, even though I'm a ways away from using it, right? I'm going to get 5, 6 after this. So I'm going to give him at least a poke. I have Gen Energy is kind of nice too, though, isn't it? Do I want to grab the Rod? I think Switch Cart. I could get an extra switching done this turn as well, right? And I'm going to grab the Rod. That one I was not so certain about that. Okay, so I have 6. I might as well... Let me get 7 in the loss zone. I can Mirage Gate this turn. Now they might one-shot me. Then I don't like that. I gotta say I don't. And I already think I have a V-Star in the loss zone, so I don't want to get 2 V-Stars in the loss zone. That does not seem good to me, right? So I'm gonna hold off. No, I think I want to utilize. So I have grass to attach. Do I want to drop down this other Sableye? I think maybe I do, right? Let's see, I want Psychic. Let's see what I have. I'm not sure what I'm going to hit with the okay, 1 of each. And I will put... Hang on, what's... Actually, this has gone wrong for me, hasn't it? So I'll do this. That's right, I can't attach the Psychic. I want the Psychic on the Giratina, so he's ready to attack. And do 110. I have the V-Star. I have 7 in the loss zone. It's okay. This is where I wish I had a Psychic in hand. That would have made my life much better. So do they have what? 1, 2, they have 3, they have 4 ancient cards, because Earthen Vessel is ancient. Earthen Vessel is a very nice, okay, so I think I want to knock this guy out, right? I think that's my play here. And I attach energy and I just blow him up. So this has gone well. A terrible start for my opponent. They have nothing in hand, right? So I'll attach to the active here. I have to loss zone 2 energies. But that's okay, right? I mean, I take this guy out, so that's great. I'll get rid of both grass energies because I got a ton of grass going on. And to attack next turn, I need to have the Psychic, right? So, okay, Jet Energy is nice as well. I have Boss in hands. I mean, this is a good hand. If they do something again next turn, I can gust. You know, if they bench another EX Pokemon, and they conceded, so that opponent just did not get anything going. So, you know, there we go. But you know, I had the loss zone engine, very good. That's you know what I'll say at this point. I think I'll stop the gameplay here. Lost Zone engine, super good. Hey, look at this, up to 280 in the ladder rank, because I'm still in Great League, but I only need to get to, what is the number now? 520, and I'm out of Great League. So, very, very nice with this. So, and so things are going well. So with this deck, so certainly encourage you to try out the starter Giratina V-STAR deck. It's a very good build. Honestly, the starter decks are all pretty good. They're a lot better than they had been in the past. So I think the deck can get better, and we'll take a look at that in the future. But it's very good just the way it is, and give it a go. Lost Zone's a super nice engine and gives you some small damage poking with Cramorant, or finish things off with Sableye, and the big beatdown stick of the Giratina V-STAR with a great engine. So super strong deck. Give it a try and have some fun playing some Pokemon.